people don't realize that virtual reality was not invented in this decade. In fact, when I was working the first time in virtual reality, publishing CyberEdge Journal in the 90s, virtual reality was going strong until it hit a wall right around 2000. As the new millennium dawned, people realized that head mounts were too expensive, not good enough, and the tracking was inadequate. Add that to the fact that the computers were not strong enough at any reasonable price to provide a realistic virtual world, and virtual reality seemed to go away. But in fact, virtual reality never went away, and since the mid-90s, many companies have been getting a real return on investment from virtual technologies, and they continue to do so to this day. Companies like Schlumberger that sells an oil exploration app. Companies or organizations like NASA that not only do astronaut training in virtual worlds, but also do on-planet planning. The Opportunity rover daily planning was done in a virtual space at NASA Ames and JPL. But what changed was that in 2014, Facebook decided that they needed to own a head-mounted display company, and they bought Oculus. The $2 billion they invested was undoubtedly the single biggest investment in virtual reality ever. We still question how they're going to recoup that investment, but virtual reality has really taken off in several areas by virtue of that move. First, that move created a lot of news. That was a lot of money to toss around, and people noticed. What it also did was point out that the technology had advanced to the point that head mounts are now good enough, and they continue to get better. For example, the Pimax head mount with 5 to 8K resolution, and several others that are coming down the pike with resolution that is very quickly approaching that of the human eye. In addition, tracking systems, most of which now are optical, and some of which are inside out, which means that the tracking starts at the head mount and looks at the environment around it, as opposed to relying on beacons in the room or other sort of tracking, which gives you much greater freedom. In addition, we're seeing new optical technologies and new algorithmic technologies that now allow augmented reality, the registration of virtual and real objects in your field of view, to be very effective. Again, this is a technology that was first demonstrated in the late 90s and early 2000s on phones. If you look at the Layers app, for example, which was available on phones 10 years ago, it provided a crude but usable augmented reality. Now we have things like Magic Leap and HoloLens that provide extremely good augmentation.